So, when the Switch came out, a lot of arcade games became available for it. And playing those kind of games with a controller just doesn't feel right to me personally. So I thought about when I was a kid, I used to play on the NES with the NES Advantage. And I thought to myself, well, surely there must be some kind of modern equivalent for this. Looked on Amazon, looked on a couple of other sites, found the cheapest one you can get. The Hori Mini Fighting Stick, or Fighting Stick Mini, or... Look, it's Hori, Fighting Stick, and Mini are in there somewhere. And honestly, the stick on this felt pretty good. The problem was, the buttons are way too close to the stick. There's only 2 inches of space here. So, with my large hands and my large frame, it was really uncomfortable to use this thing. No matter how I positioned it, either my right wrist or my left wrist were in pain. And unfortunately, a lot of the games wouldn't let you reconfigure the controller. Because if you could, I would just set it so the further buttons away were what did the action, because most of these games only have 1 or 2 buttons anyway. But that wasn't an option. So I upgraded to the 8-bit stick that I've talked about previously. And it has 3 inches between the stick and the buttons, and you might not think, well, what's the big deal? That's only a 1-inch difference. It makes a pretty big difference, actually. I can use this comfortably. But then I got to thinking, I don't remember the buttons on sticks being that close previously. Now, unfortunately, I am not going to go up into my crawl space to find my old NES Advantage. I do have a few other joysticks that I've used over the years. The SNES Advantage, which was not made by Nintendo, unlike the original NES Advantage. And it was 3¼ inch between the stick and the buttons, 8 centimeters. Or the stick I used the most, and actually used this well past when the Super Nintendo was a thing, was the Capcom Fighter Power Stick. I remember I went into an EB, back when EB was a thing, and on clearance they had dozens of these sticks. They were on clearance for $15, and I bought one, and it was amazing. And there is 4½ inches between the stick and the buttons on this. You can really get your hands apart. It's nice. And I used this all through the Super Nintendo once I got it. And then I found a USB device that let you plug Super Nintendo controllers into USB. And I used this quite a bit on PC, up until basically Xbox 360 controllers became the standard. And I'll still whip this out when I go to places where people are playing with real hardware and be like, hey, those controllers are nice, but check this out. And yeah, this video doesn't have much to do about anything. I just kind of wanted to talk about a few sticks and some of the problems with them. Because before I got the 8-bit stick, I actually looked into a bunch of different joysticks, and I noticed a ton of them have the stick just right on top of the buttons. And I do not understand this. Some of these, there is a ton of space next to that joystick. You could move it over, 6 inches if you wanted on some of these. So what is the deal? Can anyone answer that for me? Why the stick and the buttons are being moved as close as possible together? Because it seems like I can't be the only guy that's uncomfortable for. But these are just thoughts. There's no real point here. I'm just talking about joysticks. And if you would be so kind, like and subscribe.